Okay guys, welcome to a brand new episode of WrestleSlam. It's Saturday and it's fun day. I'm joined by a huge team today. We have Elizabeth and Jerry Rushe. We have Pilib Connolly, Timmy Cronin and Matt Murphy. It's a big team, all excited to talk about what's to come this Sunday. Elimination Chamber is going to be huge. I'm hoping Cesaro finally does it, and obviously Sheamus. There's a great team. We're going to have a huge analyst and debates. There's going to be a lot of debates as always, which I love. So first of all, I hope everyone is well, and I'm going to go to Jerry and Elizabeth first. Elimination Chamber this Sunday. Elizabeth, what do you reckon? Are we going to see Sheamus perhaps win and Cesaro win, or do you have other thoughts on that?
I'd love to see Cesaro win. Massive Cesaro fan ever since he got a bit of a push to the start, but it's kind of stalwarted, as historically always happens. Don't know what to do with him, but he's flying on such a high at the moment. I'd love to see him win it. Shame it's not in front of a crowd, because they would have gone mad if we would have had a really, really popping Cesaro section for that. With regard to Sheamus, I'm kind of a bit on the fence, only because I think Sheamus and Drew was coming a little bit too late after Drew's documentary. I think they could have built that up a bit better.
Yeah.
And then, we all knew it was going to happen, but then after the documentary the week after, then we could have had the bro kick, then we would have had it a bit more believable, and his pin would have meant a lot more, so I'm kind of on the fence with regard to Sheamus.
Epic. Joe, what you reckon? I'm loving the Cove Amorous top, by the way.
New Jersey belt,
It's beautiful. What you reckon, my man? Obviously it's going to be a big pay-per-view this Sunday. Momentum is there. It's we're all kind of looking at Sheamus perhaps to be the banker for that, but who knows? Vince could be in the back and just change something last minute.
Yeah, he does that a lot. So it's possible Miz took himself out of it. Maybe they took him out of it. Maybe he is going to cash in on whoever wins.
Yeah.
And maybe Drew will have to do a number one contender match of Fastlane to beat Miz then in WrestleMania, but that mightn't happen. But I don't know. It's hard to call because everybody in it, it's not going to be like Jeff Hardy or Kofi this time. So, I can't see Randy Orton winning it. So, Sheamus, Drew, either one of them is probably a favourite to win it. Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing Drew going into WrestleMania after the title to get a pop to win it, as opposed to getting beat. So, Roman's not going to drop the title at WrestleMania. So, does Drew drop it? Does he get beat in front of everybody?
Yeah.
First title fight in front of fans, is he going to lose the match?
Yeah, he deserves the pop, as you said, Jerry. We obviously he became champ at WrestleMania last year. Never had that real pop, all the hard work. Obviously they've given back the title and he's on a good run. But it's interesting to see what's going to happen. It's got us all thinking, which is good, Phil, what you reckon, my man? Obviously you're going to have a close eye on all this Sunday. Prediction, you're normally spot on, to be fair,
the SmackDown one, I reckon it'll be Kevin Owens. And I also reckon that the match with Reigns will last less than 2 minutes.
I love it. Timmy's nodding his head, so I'm going to let the two cousins fight here, right? Timmy, is Phil right or wrong?
Wrong. Always wrong.
I just think that Reigns
as a predict something right, I'm after telling him this.
But Reigns will just beat Kevin Owens because it's just obviously Edge and Reigns.
Yeah.
It is going to be Edge and Reigns, but I don't think they'll have Owens again. They'll have somebody else win it and make us all think, maybe this is going to happen. Cesaro, as they say, is a good choice. But then they'll just do a screwy finish with Reigns.
Well, Seth Rollins is going to feud with Cesaro, so
yeah. But there could be a screwy finish. That's the thing.
Yeah. Screwy
finish. Cesaro wins. He goes up against Reigns. Rollins comes in, costing the title.
For the Raw one, I reckon something dodgy with Sheamus. I think Drew will retain.
I reckon nobody will win the Raw one. I reckon the Fiend will interfere again and the match will just be called off. That'll be the main event.
He'll come out on fire or something, will he?
He'll come into the match and he'll take Orton away if Orton's the last fella in against Drew, maybe, or whoever's in last.
The whole thing going up in flames would be a cool visual.
They can do it because there's no fans.
Yeah, the whole chamber going up in flames would be a really cool visual.
Come up into the chamber where Orton is and trap him inside the chamber where he's
mandible claw inside in there.
Makes sense.
There's definitely a screwy finish.
That's a very good call, Tim.
There we go. The fans have heard it first. Timmy's in the background with Vince. I knew you were up to something last week.
But I also think the Fiend has come back with new gear as well.
Yeah, definitely new gear. There's definitely something. It's going to be more satanic.
Epic. Matt, what you reckon, brother? Obviously, huge one this Sunday. A lot of debates right now above. It's hard to, I like what the lads just said. Obviously, Elizabeth and Jer onto a winner as well with predictions. What you reckon?
Yeah, I was actually just going to randomly say to make sure, is Fastlane actually still going on? Or are they going
Yeah, 21st of May.
Yeah.
21st of May.
Because I feel like the Royal Rumble, road to WrestleMania, but first go to Elimination Chamber. When you Elimination Chamber, also you have to go to Fastlane before WrestleMania. But okay. But for Raw, I might have to go predictable. I might have to go with Sheamus on this one because they've been building up this rivalry with Sheamus and Drew for so long. Personally, I want this to happen because I would love if they acknowledge that time in Irish Rep Wrestling. Who remembers that days? I do.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see Sheamus winning, and then Drew would face Sheamus at Fastlane, and Sheamus will win. Maybe cheat his way to win or a clean victory. And somehow they'll have Drew face Sheamus again at WrestleMania, and Drew will win to prove that he is meant to be WWE champion, that he is a worker. Yeah. Or even Sheamus winning to prove that he can still be a top heel. And plus, I was never really happy with Sheamus's last, title reigns as champion. So maybe this might do it justice. As for SmackDown, I got a feeling that Kevin Owens might win.
Yeah.
He's going to win, face Roman Reigns. He'll do the whole entire, I'm doing this for my family thing. And then maybe Roman Reigns will win. Maybe Jay will have a role in this because I feel like we're going to see the same match again. And go to WrestleMania, face Edge, or maybe even Kevin Owens might jump in and we'll have a triple threat match. Maybe. But I know, Timmy. But I'm calling out your cousin, Phil. Sorry about this now. But I'm kind of pulling for either Daniel Bryan or Cesaro because I feel like they're slowly kind of pushing them aside to slowly kind of build them up. I know they have a good rivalry with Seth Rollins, but if either of them two win, that would be unreal. Even if they lose to Roman Reigns, I would still give them a bit of boost. Then again, I'm a supporter of them. So that's what I think anyway.
Yeah. Now, we have to mention Jey Uso. We spoke about Jey Uso and Roman Reigns at Mania because of the whole storyline and the head of the table. Elizabeth and George, you reckon it's possible that maybe Jey Uso might shock us all and perhaps win?
Yeah.
I can see where you're going with it. Like, if he wins, he can take
win the chamber and then lay down for him.
They could do that too.
I can see him lying down for Roman if he wins.
He has to get
Maybe a bit of back and forth, and then eventually he'll take the pin from Roman. It could happen, unless by some miracle Jimmy appears somewhere. But
Jimmy, yeah, it's interesting. Jesus has got us really talking now. Obviously, it's a massive pay-per-view. We always love, the spectacle of the chamber itself and all that. But there's obviously a lot happening on the pay-per-view, like Jey Uso, Dark Horse. We have Bobby Lashley with MVP versus Keith Lee and Riddle. There's talks at this moment in time, Bill Goldberg will face Riddle. Now, I'm always going to say Matt Riddle, but it's an intruding match. Matt, would you like to see Riddle and Goldberg fight at WrestleMania, or do you think Goldberg should have a better match?
When you said Riddle, I was like, yeah, why would they get rid of the name Matt? I kind of like that name, Matt. It's good.
Yeah, I love it.
Bit biased there.
Yeah, I would actually like to see Goldberg versus Riddle because I feel like WWE still needs, because WWE now acknowledges wrestlers' past MMA experience, maybe they'll actually mention, instead of Riddle being like this whole entire stoner-like character, they'll mention, oh yeah, also he's an MMA fighter, and against Goldberg will actually be something as well. So I'm pulling for Riddle versus Goldberg, definitely. But as for Bobby Lashley versus Keith Lee versus Riddle, I kind of want to say Keith Lee because I still want him to at least show to Vince McMahon, be like, I'm a big deal member, so I'm going to go with Keith Lee on this one.
The thing is, the match is going to be changed to a one-on-one.
Lee is isolating.
Lee won't be in that match anymore.
What is he?
No.
He's isolating for COVID.
It's not confirmed just yet, though, is it?
Oh, pretty much. It's about 80% true.
Yeah.
Then he said something's up with him, but as well, they're apparently gone cold on him as well a little bit. They've cooled down a little bit backstage with Keith Lee because Vince isn't kind of not sure what to do with him. And hence why he went back to NXT about his promos, but
Yeah, Vince is Vince. Vince doesn't sometimes see the light. No, I just kind of thought about something there, right? We're obviously kind of switching the water small bit, but a lot of links that Moose from Impact is on the way to WWE and he's going to be a Vince guy. Timmy, what do you reckon, brother? Do you reckon we're going to see Moose go to WWE and be a Vince guy?
Yeah, 100%. His contract is up with Impact. They don't know what to do with him. Vince loves a big guy. He's a big guy who can talk. He can also wrestle. He also has the sports background, which McMahon seems to love.
Yeah.
I reckon they could put him straight in against Lashley.
Yeah.
Lashley thinks he's the big guy and he's going around and he's destroying everyone. Moose can come in and destroy him because he's bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moose is the best thing in wrestling in the last 6 months.
You love him, yeah. Obviously,
that Impact belt.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I would like to see Moose in WWE, but to be honest, I do like him in Impact because like he is dominant over in Impact, and besides AEW, they're getting people actually watching Impact with all of his shows. He's taking control, especially with his rivalry with Tommy Dreamer. I know it can be here and there, but it is still kind of giving him a bit of a boost to get a veteran against Tommy Dreamer. So I like
finger. Oh, did you see Tommy's finger?
Don't talk about it.
I saw that. I couldn't take it seriously because if it was any other wrestler, you'd be like, "Oh, poor guy." But I was like, "It's Tommy Dreamer. He eats barbed wire and like he jumps into glass for the hell of it in WCW." So I was like, "Why Tommy? Come on, Tommy, lad." But great match anyway. So
I love it. Now, obviously, we have to kind of go to this whole Adam Cole and Balor feud. Now, it was definitely the right call. George, do you reckon this whole Adam Cole, Bebe, and Finn Balor trilogy could be something incredible?
Could be. Cole's going to have to beat Kyle O'Reilly first. He's going to have to either decide to walk away from the Undisputed Era, or Roderick Strong's going to have to stay with Cole. But I could see them having a triple threat at WrestleMania if they're going to have the title up on Balor, and if Karrion Kross gets involved.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're going to push Kross before WrestleMania, though. There's so many, with Pete Dunne and Adam Cole and Balor, it's just hard to know what direction they're going to go.
I think a triple threat or a fatal four-way always appeals at WrestleMania for a championship because you just have this so unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. But obviously, Karrion Kross, he was in an absolute high until he had that injury. Elizabeth, do you reckon he's on the brink of something big again, or do you reckon Vince and Triple H, I suppose, will hold him back a bit?
It would be a shame if they pushed him too hard too quick, because there's just so many layers to him, and Scarlett as well. There's just so many layers to them. So it would be a shame if, they just pushed him too hard too quick. I think he's all right in NXT for another bit. I think he needs to build up another bit since he came back after his injury. Yeah. But myself and Gerry were chatting about this as well. I can see a triple threat with the three of them. But again, there's just so many different directions. It's kind of hard to know who's going where. I mean, bit of luck, he'll squash Escobar next week, or if not, it's going to be some kind of a hokey finish. But there's just so many different tangents. It's hard to know where it's going to go.
Yeah, it's tricky times. Obviously, there's a lot of rumours. Paige wants to make a comeback. I'm all for that because we know how incredible she was when she was wrestling. She fought so hard to come back. Obviously, came back. It was a freak accident. Obviously, got injured again. And she's not wrestled again. But obviously, we are seeing, the comeback of Edge, Daniel Bryan. Matt, do you reckon Paige could possibly make a comeback, and would you like to see it?
I would like to see Paige making a comeback because, especially with all the talk she said about WWE, we know everything. And I don't want to get too personal about Paige, of course, but we know the struggle she had to go through. So if she makes a triumphant comeback and probably put all the women roster on notice, that would be something, especially if she goes for a title run. So I've always loved Paige. I'm always a huge fan of her. So if seeing her come back with a good storyline, with a good underdog-like storyline, it would be something to see. So I'm for it.
It's crazy that she's only 28.
Yeah, it's scary how young she's retired.
Yeah. Well, I think personally, if she doesn't come back to WWE, she was going to go to AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they brought Edge back. Edge held talks with AEW. Yeah. He was never going to go there, but he held him because he knew Vince would clear him if he held him.
Yeah, same with Chris Jericho. When he joined AEW and he just signed a contract, Vince said, "Can you come back to WWE?" Sign a contract. He was like, "No, you're too late." He was like, "Okay," so something along those lines. So
speaking of Jericho, did she catch that subtle Daniel Bryan thing with him on SmackDown?
Nice.
With Jared, where he mentioned the list.
Yeah. I like it.
Good. Jericho's a bad word in WWE.
Yeah, Jericho knows the story. Jericho knows how to play the game, and he's still tight. Like, I would be surprised if Jericho ever ended back in WWE. Like, he's the kind of guy that could go back there at the end of his career, maybe in 2-3 years. Obviously, he's got all this AEW stuff going on, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jericho went back to finish his career there. Like he's on obviously Vince stuff. You know, he went to AEW, but look, Jericho.
I think he wants a commentary desk run.
He'd be brilliant.
He's good on it.
Unreal.
Yeah, he'd be outstanding.
He wouldn't make a boo boo like JR and call Kenny Omega the WWE champion.
That was cool though.
Yeah, Chris Jericho will make a good heel commentator. You know, he'll actually agree with the wrongs of the heel wrestlers on AEW and everything. So I would like to see him. And plus, I listen to his podcast, so he has a good voice for it.
I love it. Now we have to mention Kurt Angle, right? It seems Kurt Angle is humming and hawing. Obviously, he's had a lot of time away now, but he reckons he could have gone on the title run before retirement. Now, George, you reckon? Obviously, the whole Mania team where Angle lost to, Corbin, it was a bit strange. And I know he was retiring and stuff, but you reckon he could have maybe gone on a little run?
I don't think putting the title on him would have been good because he wasn't walking very well. He looked like he was in a lot of pain, but he could go but I don't think putting the title, maybe having a title match and losing maybe would have been a good way to send them off. But Corbin
didn't deserve Corbin
ever.
Should have fought John Cena.
Everything about it.
Anyone back Corbin, it was stomach turning.
Yeah. What do you reckon actually happened with the whole Cena thing? Do you reckon it was just?
I think he's in a lot of films and he can't get injured. He can't get injured basically.
Yeah.
Bit like The Rock, when The Rock came in and done that 2-minute match last time because he can't get injured. He's top star in Hollywood. Cena thinks he's the top star in Hollywood and is going to do the same.
Because he was filming Fast and Furious 20 at the time.
I know. So, obviously, there's a lot of talk about Murphy, lads. Murphy was on a great run, and obviously he was in the storyline with Rey Mysterio's daughter. But have WWE really dropped the ball with Murphy at this moment in time?
Yeah, I wasn't really happy when they dropped the ball with me. I tried my best. Oh, you mean Buddy Murphy? Yeah.
I actually read there yesterday that the whole storyline's gone. They're not coming back.
It is. It's just completely nicked.
Yeah.
Send them back to NXT.
I think he's too good for NXT, and NXT is unbelievable, but I think he justified himself, in the WWE main roster. I really do. I think he had a good run. He looked great. Obviously, fantastic with Seth Rollins. I would have loved to see him fight Rollins at a number of pay-per-views. I think that could have had an appeal about it, but with Rollins back now after the little break, Rollins looked like he's on a mission. Elizabeth, what do you reckon's next for Rollins? Do you reckon he's going to obviously turn on someone, go after Reigns, do something crazy? Or do you reckon he's just going to stay on a kind of a small path until after Mania?
First thing I want to see is a new suit, for sure, because I am here for Seth Rollins' suit, for sure. That leather thing last week was an abomination, but I was digging last night's suit, something else. To be honest, I think they're kind of, it's clear he's on a mission, embrace and all, etc. But I think they're still a little bit iffy with him because, they kind of teased us with bringing him back with Burn It Down, because everybody was popping mad when, Burn It Down as opposed to the Messiah crap. But when Burn It Down came back, it was like, oh my God. And then he just came up with this whole Embrace the Vision. And now I'm kind of sat there going, right. So, that kind of a way? I'm still not 100% sure where he's going to go, what direction he's going to go, and is he just going to go ahead straight for the top and enter in some kind of a title chase there one, or is it going to be like a phenomenal feud with Cesaro? So it's kind of a little bit up in the air.
I reckon he's fighting Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that I was like, why wasn't Daniel Bryan the last one standing last week instead of Cesaro to put the wheel in motion after Chamber? That's what I was kind of like. There's a missed opportunity there. It's like, why Cesaro when we know the run that he's on and we're all pushing mad for him for Elimination Chamber? So why wasn't it Daniel Bryan the last one there when the lights came on?
Yeah. Sure. Are you a Rollins fan? Would you be a big fan of Rollins?
Yeah, big time. His original heel run was epic. I loved it. We were there for the WrestleMania when he cashed in, but even the build up before that, his match against Randy Orton where he took the greatest RKO ever, that heel run was epic.
Yeah.
I don't know why they can't just be that person, just be an arrogant prick like he was before. Yeah. Why does he have to be a
I love him that way, even in character. I remember doing interviews with him, and he stays in character, Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he's unique. He's definitely one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He's
done everything.
Everything about him. He's always in a good match. But yeah, I think he needs to go back to that proper prick, and just fucking be loved by everyone. Timmy, what you reckon? What's next for Rollins? Obviously, You have a vision for Rollins. What do you reckon?
I don't think they know what they're doing. This is the first time this close to WrestleMania we haven't a clue what matches we're going to have for most of the show because they haven't them booked.
Yeah.
Like they're teasing us
They
with
have
this
like
guy and
4
that
matches.
guy.
I think they have
Could be
4
anyone.
matches.
We're locked in, yeah.
I really don't want Vince to like put out like random names out of a hat and be like, okay, they're gonna rival each other, put them in the match on WrestleMania, it'd be grand.
Yeah,
That's what he'll do.
There was a rumor that Nexus were going to come back to fight Retribution.
Yeah.
Christ almighty.
But would Roy back come back?
So I think
There's no chance in hell. Ryback won't be left into a WWE room. They won't even leave his Twitter be blue tick.
I'd say.
Mark Henry squashing, got his hands on him.
Yeah. What was that now?
I think I don't know if you heard on NXT Vengeance that Wade Barrett actually did toss some shade at Nexus and the core. So when you mentioned about the Nexus come back, I'm like, I don't think the leader of the Nexus will be up for it, but it'll be something anyway to see them versus Retribution, the copycats.
Yeah.
That's all they are.
Yeah. So, Bo Dallas is in the headlines, lads. Believe. There's talks.
How does he still have a contract?
Yeah, he's done. Have they really dropped the ball at Bo Dallas, or is it just it never worked?
He never made it on the main roster. He was NXT champion.
Yeah.
He was good in NXT, and they brought him up, and he hasn't wrestled a match since 2019.
Yeah.
I think his
He's
gimmick
still under contract. How is he still under contract?
It's a 6-month thing. You can't go any further than that with it.
Yeah. And I never knew he was actually with Liv Morgan. I was surprised to see that. Apparently they're dating. Yeah.
And they set up a business together.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Interesting. Phil, what's the lowdown on AEW at the moment? I haven't watched this week, but
I suppose the big thing is the exploding barbed wire match.
Yes.
Biggest
Terry
mistake they'll ever make.
Funk actually put out a tweet saying that he's looking forward to it.
Terry Funk is deluded.
Yeah.
No,
But,
there's a reason no mainstream wrestling promotion has ever done one of these exploding barbed wire death matches. It's because they're trash.
Yeah.
But then look, John Moxley, that's all he can do. He's proven it. Like, he was never a huge star in WWE. I know he's gone down there, and the only matches he can do against guys to get the storyline working is these death matches. The Kenny Omega can wrestle. John Moxley just wants to go in and harm himself to make it look like he's the best.
But it's another example of like. It's another example of.
It could go totally wrong.
It's another example of the bookers like leaving the wrestlers run the show.
Yeah, but like if you walked into your room and your children were watching this and you saw the exploding death match, you're not going to leave them watch again. They're going to lose viewers over this. That they are. Like, I know a lot of people that are diehard wrestling fans will not watch it.
Well, Timmy, I'm going to tune in to watch it just because of that. Like, so they might get more viewers. Like,
but it's garbage wrestling. If you tune into, they lose their core audience because they'll have somebody tune in to watch a once-off match because they can't have it on television. They can only have it on pay-per-view. Because TNT said no way.
The last time they had a death match, they were fined.
Yeah, and that was nothing compared to having barbed wire ropes and having all this rubbish.
Yeah. Jordan Elizabeth, would you reckon you'll tune into this Omega versus Moxley match given the circumstances, or just pass and leave it go? Will you watch it?
Watch it. We won't pay for the pay-per-view. We might watch it the next day, but we watch it to see how bad it goes, just to see if somebody actually gets fucking killed.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like Moxley's having a kid in 2 months. He should have more crap on. He should have more crap on.
A bit more hokey because it said she's due soon as well. But it's kind of an extension of the crazed lunatic, but it's like hyped up to 90 and let's throw absolutely everything in there to show how crazy he is, But
I got the impression that because the pay-per-view was coming up and they had nothing for it, they're like, what can we do that's big?
Yeah.
They're just throwing stuff at the wall hoping it sticks.
Yeah.
In the Indies, like he did it in the Indies to get attention. Like he'd jump off, through glass and barbed wire.
Like when was the last one of these matches?
I think it was him versus. I think it was the last AEW pay-per-view.
No, like the exploding matches.
ECW probably.
Terry Funk versus Mick Foley.
1994. Yeah.
Yes. Matt,
There's been a few in Japan, but.
Do you reckon you'll watch it, Matt?
Well, if you ask me now, I think the exploding Bob Dynamite match will be the bomb. God, I'm hilarious.
You're on fire today, man. You're on fire.
I mean, I would tune in to watch it, to be honest, but like, I'm just going to probably turn off my brain and see what exactly happened. Maybe this would be the last round of AEW to say, oh, look, we can do extreme stuff as well here and there. But I kind of agree with you about John Moxley's going to be a dad soon, so maybe they're going to like tone it down a bit for his sake. But
No.
definitely. But I'm going to pull for Kenny Omega just because I kind of like how he's going with the title at the moment and him being the know-it-all great wrestler that he is.
Brilliant.
Exactly. And give John Moxley, time to be a dad as well. So that's what I'm going to go for Kenny.
I'm going to go out and say Omega because he's going to fight Rich Swann in a title for title.
Yeah.
Rich Swann is not a world champion. He's a 205 live play. That's all he'll ever be.
The next TNA pay-per-view in April, Rich and Omega.
Yeah, I know that, but it's just atrocious.
Isn't
All we want to see with this Omega run is what it's going to lead to when we are able to fly and stuff, is Omega's Bullet Club versus Jay White's Bullet Club, and it's just going to all implode. Like it's basically like doing the NWO versus the NWO Wolfpack all over again.
Yeah. So quickly, there's only about 4 minutes left. Obviously, Andrade's linked back to a return. Obviously, I liked him. I know he's a former NXT champion. He's obviously gone out with Sharon Flair in real life. Good wrestler, so hopefully they don't drop the ball with him. Now, this whole LA Knight, aka Eddie Drake stuff, Phil. Do you reckon it could be good, bad, good for business, bad for business?
This is his chance to shine. If he doesn't shine this time, he's not going to go anywhere.
Do you think Eli's good though? He's obviously not bad. Like
he's good. He is very good. Yeah, very good.
He's gonna absolutely make bits of the whole NXT roster on the microphone, and that could harm him. That it could, because he can go in there and he'll talk too much. He'll talk his way into a corner, and that's all they'll see him as. But he can. He's 41 years old. This is either make or break.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. And we have to touch base. Obviously, there's a lot of promo stuff around our very own Aoife Valkyrie, NXT UK Irish girl that we've seen at OTT in Cork. Jordan Elizabeth, have you seen much about Aoife Valkyrie at this moment in time? And she's obviously huge on the UK WWE brand, but do you reckon she's going to be a big star?
Yeah, huge.
Hopefully.
I do.
More of a bias thing because she's Irish, so hopefully she's a big star. But what's her name? Sakamura. What got a title
Miko
match?
Sakamura, wasn't she? Miko Sakamura. She's got a title match now with Katie Ray.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether they're just holding Aoife Valkyrie back or that they're not putting her in the title picture just yet. But I don't think there's anything like her on the NXT UK women's brand. I think she's very, very different. Biased aside, but I think she is. There's no kind of dark, mysterious, almost pagan-like kind of figure over there. We have the dark hair, the dark makeup, but there's nobody like her. There's just a mystique about her, and I think that will stand to her when the time is right.
Yeah.
She's young yet. She's plenty of time. What is she? 20, 21?
Yeah. Philly, do you reckon she's going to be a big star? Obviously, we bring her up in more shows, but she's obviously the next big thing, isn't she?
Yeah. Every time I see her, she's better and better. So, definitely.
Matt, you're a big fan. You were there when we met her at Neptune. You think she's the next big thing as well?
Yeah, my very first match I've seen her was facing against Raven Creed at the OTT in Cork. So I enjoyed that match. They had good chemistry. So, and like you said, she's still young. So I would like to see her go for the run for the NXT UK women's title. So maybe they'll get with an undefeated streak by her and she can back up her promo. So I can see her going far, definitely.
I love it. Lads, it's been an absolute honour having you all on. It's the first time we've done 6. The first couple possibly ever on a wrestling podcast, I believe. Timmy and Phil, are you back Monday after the after show? You're going to do an after show Monday?
Yeah.
Good stuff. And this will air Sunday, guys. So big thanks to everyone tuning in to all our shows these last few months. Reach out WrestleSlam on Twitter, on Instagram, and you can email us WrestleSlam@outlook.com. Elizabeth, Ger, Timmy, Phil, and Matt, thank you very much, and have a good day.